Hello everyone! Today we're going to be looking at 4 upcoming games to be excited about if you like Stardew Valley. Now, I love the fact that we are seeing more and more games like this as time goes on. However, they don't all turn out so great, but these are my picks for games to be excited about. Before we begin our list, we need to take a quick look at what makes Stardew Valley so special, so we know what to look for in other games. At a glance, Stardew Valley just seems like a simple farming game, but in reality, it's so much more than that. I mean, a lot of people that play don't even care for the farming aspect of it. It's all about the game's charming, relaxing nature. It's just a game you can play anytime, anywhere, to help unwind while having a little bit of fun. So that's what I'm looking for with these games, something you can just sit back and enjoy merely by immersing yourself in the game. Starting off our list at number 1 is Kinseed. Now you may already know a little about this game as I actually did a video on it years ago with their early prototype. And it's finally set to hit Steam in its closed beta on April 29th. From veterans of the Fable series comes Kinseed, a whimsical sandbox RPG adventure, just to give you an overview. So that means the devs already have great game experience from working on the Fable games, which are games that I really enjoyed. Now here's a bunch of quotes I stole from Steam. Run a tavern, apothecary, goods store or blacksmith, farm your land, go adventuring and battle dark fairy tale creatures, or do them all. I know I will. So there's definitely no shortage of things to do to occupy your time. Develop relationships with NPCs who have their own lives and loves, and who will remember your deeds, actions, and pranks. I hope they like divorce. Gather materials to create better items, craft beers, or to mix cures for a range of bizarre melodies for the simple people of the land. So already we get the sense that the NPCs are going to be important, and they are important because they can add a lot of charm to the game. Now this all takes place in a huge 2D handcrafted open world. One of the things I definitely love about this one is the whimsical, lighthearted nature they seem to apply to pretty much everything. This one's already been in development for years, and it's just coming out in the closed beta in a few weeks, so I'm pretty sure they're not rushing it along. Now it is just releasing in beta because the devs really want you guys' input and feedback on what they have so far. They really care about making this game as good as it can be. Now in saying that, there was a lot I liked in the early version I played, and that was years ago. One of the coolest features is that your character can get old and die, then you become one of your children and carry on. Every person and domestic animal you meet remembers what you do or fail to do, so even animals are going to hate me in this one. Choose a male or female and get to know the inhabitants of the land and be involved in friendships, romance, marriage, and putting your family to work on the cheap, so they will have a use. The world ages. The land is affected by your choices and deeds. Seasons come and go and affect the world both visually and in gameplay. I'm personally really excited about this one, and I really feel like the devs put 110% into making it a fun, charming, and funny world just to be a part of. I mean, the first time I played, I managed to explode my pigs. And also, there's some beautiful music created just for this game. You'll definitely see me playing this one in a few short weeks, and I really think this is going to be one to enjoy playing, even if you don't have any goal in mind. Just wandering around, exploring the world, whatever you want to do, it's going to be an enjoyable experience. Number 2 on our list is a game I'm probably the most excited about, although it is probably the furthest away, and that's Witchbrook, formerly known as Spellbound. Now I did recently make a video on this one, and from what we know so far, with what little bit of information we have, people are already absolutely loving it. The amount of love and hype this game is already getting really says a lot about how it's progressing. The simple way most people describe this one is Stardew Valley meets Harry Potter. Now that doesn't mean you're a socially awkward wizard taking up farming. What they mean by this is that it has all the charm and glow of Stardew Valley while you're navigating your way through wizard school. It has that bright, cartoony art style that people really seem to like. It's worth noting that this game is by Chucklefish, the same publisher who brought us Stardew Valley, and they've spent enough time with the genius behind Stardew Valley to really understand what made it so special, so successful. The game revolves around your path through school, the relationships you build, and your mastery of the several schools of magic at your disposal. Now this one will be more than simply attending class. You will need to take care of plants and animals or maybe complete a quest for that strange new friend. And what's any game without some combat? From what we know so far, the combat system is being compared to retro Zelda, but using magic instead of swords because wizards don't like to use their hands. According to Chucklefish's CEO about Witchbrook's influences, the most obvious ones were Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley, and I'm really hoping he means the old Harvest Moons. Relationships, of course, will be very important to your story. The tone being described as very young adult literature in a lot of ways, which seems perfect given the demographic for games like this. Now unfortunately, we don't yet know a ton about this game because it's still pretty early in its development, but from most of the pictures and art style alone, a lot of people are falling in love with this one. Currently, this one is set for only PC release, but they say if it does successful enough, it will be moving to other consoles, and I suspect that will be the case. This one obviously would be especially good on the Switch. Number 3 is one I've had my eye on for a few years now, and is potentially nearing its early access release, either its alpha or its beta. Obviously I'm talking about Graveyard Keeper, also known as the most inaccurate medieval cemetery management sim of 2018. This one's going to be hitting both PC and Xbox One. The trailer alone had me hooked right away. If anyone can appreciate a little dark humor, it's me. Basically the goal is to manage a graveyard, and we'll be faced with numerous moral questions along the way. Here's a few key features I borrowed from their website. Face ethical dilemmas. Do you really want to spend money on that proper hot dog meat for the festival when you have so many resources lying around? Absolutely not. As far as I'm concerned, that's just recycling. Gather valuable resources and craft new items. Expand your graveyard into a thriving business. Go ahead and gather valuable resources scattered in the surrounding areas and explore what this land has to offer. Hopefully there is a wide variety of things to collect and tools to play with. Make business alliances. These dead bodies don't need all that blood, do they? Why not sell it to someone who can put it to good use? Same for body parts. Hey, it's being efficient with recycling. I couldn't agree more. Explore mysterious dungeons. No medieval game would be complete without these. Take a trip into the unknown and find useful new ingredients, which may or may not poison a whole bunch of nearby villagers. Capitalism. Frankly, that just sounds good for those of us in the graveyard business. Take a game with a beautiful, custom 2D world, add a ton of ethical ambiguity, and a splash of dark humor, and you've got a game that I really want to play. This game is all about doing whatever it takes to build a thriving business. Just replace farming with murder, and you have an idea of what you can expect. Again, unfortunately, we don't know a ton about this game despite the fact that it is a little further along in its development process, but we can ascertain a little bit of information from the images we've seen here today and other images out there on the internet. Also, some people have done small reviews on early parts of the game where they managed to play an early demo, and so far these reviews are pretty encouraging, albeit for early stages of the game. Obviously, I'll be all over this one as soon as it releases, whenever it does. Our final entry on this list is a game that is technically already released and I've already covered it fairly extensively on my channel. I am of course referring to My Time at Porsche, which is currently an already amazing and beautiful game in its beta form. The reason I'm including it on this list is because it's still going to release in its full version in the future and is hitting consoles later this year. Plus, this is my list, so my rules. So far, the people that have played this game are loving it so far. There's been over 3,200 reviews on Steam and a massive 92% of those are positive. So this game is already a great success, but on top of an already content-filled game, it is always improving thanks to the continuous updates. The devs are always listening to what the people want and adding those things into the game. A lot of people are asking me if it's worth the price currently at $22.79 Canadian. Apply that to your own currency. And I tell them absolutely. You can already get many hours of gameplay at a bargain price and there's a ton more content to come. And I just can't get enough of the art style. It's probably my favorite game artistically that I've ever played. Start a new life in the enchanting town of Porsche. Restore your paused neglected workshop to its former glory. Grow crops, raise animals, befriend the town's quirky inhabitants, and uncover the mysteries this charming post-apocalyptic land has forgotten. This is a game with so many things to do that it can leave you feeling utterly overwhelmed at times. Whether you're mining for ore, fighting your way through those dungeons, stealing items from your neighbors, trying to catch those peculiar fish, or giving gifts to the love of your life, or just simply picking stuff up off the ground, I'd wager you're going to have a good time in this one. This game does differ from others on this list thanks to its 3D open world, but still manages to capture that upbeat, enjoyable charm. With every new update tends to come new areas to explore, new dungeons and weapons, more quests for needy NPCs, and more storyline to follow. Not to mention new crafting and new ingredients for crafting, which does make up the core of the game. Also, they always seem to be adding new mechanics to improve the game. Recently they added animals you can buy and raise, some of which can be ridden for faster traveling. One of the original drawbacks in this game was the map was just too big. It wasn't a lot of fun walking end to end. But they listened and fixed the problem, as they will continue to do. So let me know which one of these games are you most looking forward to and why. Personally, I'm hugely excited for all of these. I don't know if I could really pick one above any other. We don't really know what we're going to get until we actually get our hands on these and play them. Hopefully at least a few of these can compare to Stardew Valley, because not many games out there can. But that's why I've chosen the ones on this list, because I think these have that potential. Also, if you're still here after watching this entire video, please consider hitting that like button, as it helps me out a great deal. And videos like this take a lot more work than what I normally do, because normally I'm fairly lazy about it. If there's any other games out there that you think would qualify for a list like this, please let me know anywhere you can. Twitter, Discord, YouTube, anywhere. I would love to continue to find games like these, and hopefully even better games in the future. Other than that, I hope you all liked this video. Thank you very much for watching.